Britenet helps turn your business ambitions into reality. For nearly 19 years, we've been a trusted technology partner, delivering quality and innovation, starting with what matters most, data. This audiobook was created with the support of AI technology. We hope you enjoy listening.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the noise to get you the insights you need fast. Today, we're diving into something huge, AI investment. It's exciting, sure, but also surprisingly tricky. I mean, the numbers are just wild. Global spending, expected to hit maybe $480 billion by 2026. And if you're listening from EMA, well, AI budgets there are, like, exploding. Over 100% growth year on year. We're seeing AI projects make up, 20% of total IT budgets in some places? That's a massive chunk of change.
It really is an incredible commitment.
But here's where it gets, counterintuitive. There's this big elephant in the room, isn't there? Despite all the hype, all the cash being poured in, a staggering 85% of AI projects actually fail.
85%.
Yeah, just think about that. It means potentially, $408 billion? Maybe just vanishing? No real business value created?
It's fascinating because the ambition is sky high, right? Everyone wants in on AI, but the foundation they're building on, often incredibly shaky. And the main reason for these failures, it's usually not the complex AI algorithms, the cool tech stuff. It almost always comes back to the basics. Bad data. Inconsistent, incomplete, sometimes just plain old data. It really is like trying to build a skyscraper on sand.
So what does this actually mean for you? If you're leading a team or planning strategy or just trying to figure all this out, our mission today is to really unpack why these projects hit the wall. And more importantly, how focusing on data quality first could be the key to smart AI investments that, actually work.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. AI without good data.
Yeah.
It's basically just a very, very expensive experiment.
Yeah.
Our sources are pretty clear on this. Something like 81% of organizations admit they still struggle with basic data quality.
81%, that's huge.
It is, and it directly hits trust. You get this situation where, 1 in 3 leaders, they just don't trust the AI's output because they don't trust the data going in. How can you make big calls based on that?
You can't really. And that connects to a bigger disconnect. We're seeing companies have these huge expectations for AI, right? Quick ROI, beating the competition, making smarter decisions, boosting their whole digital game.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. But they run smack into these really common roadblocks, low data quality, like you said, that lack of trust, and often this immense pressure to show results fast, but without the solid data groundwork. So AI, instead of being this amazing strategic tool, just becomes, a costly experiment that often disappoints.
It's not just theory, is it? We see this playing out. Get this statistic. Someone tracked 41 AI proofs of concept, right? TOCs.
Those initial tests.
Exactly. Out of those 41, only 5 actually made it to a full production launch. 5.
Wow.
It just screams market immaturity, doesn't it? Lots of playing around, lots of experimenting, but not much actually getting deployed and delivering value.
Yeah, a high rate of trial, but not much success getting it across the finish line. And that poor data quality, it's not just a tech headache, it causes real financial pain, real operational losses. Think about it. Wrong decisions get made based on flawed data. That happens across the business. You see teams duplicating work because the data's a mess. Marketing budgets get wasted on campaigns that miss the mark completely.
Because you don't really know your customer if the data's bad.
Precisely. And then there are the compliance risks, big ones. GDPR is the obvious one, but also newer things like the Data Act in the EU. Get that wrong, and the penalties can be severe, really severe.
Right. And beyond those immediate costs, bad data fuels this thing called technical debt. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which sounds abstract, but it's a real drain. It means higher costs, just maintaining your current systems, trying to integrate things. It actively slows down rolling out new AI or automation. You end up needing expensive fixes, maybe even having to redo huge chunks of work late in the game.
Which delays everything.
Delays critical decisions, limits how much you can scale up your IT. It's like constantly patching leaky pipes instead of building something solid.
That's a great analogy. And it begs the question, what are the specific data problems causing all this grief? Our sources break it down into about 6 main areas, which is quite helpful. First, just data quality itself. That's, data being incomplete, missing fields, inconsistent different spellings for the same thing, erroneous, outdated, not standardized. The basics.
Absolute fundamentals.
Then there's data understanding. This is tricky. It's about data lacking business context. Poor documentation, so no one knows what it means, bad labeling, and just the sheer cost of preparing data so it's usable.
Right. Getting it ready takes real effort.
Huge effort. Third, data availability and integration. Your data's scattered everywhere, right? Different silos, it's not real time when you need it. Regulatory rules might restrict access. And just technically integrating it is hard.
Okay, what else?
Fourth, structural and technical problems. Maybe your infrastructure just can't handle the scale needed for AI. Data isn't centralized. You don't have good version control for data or models, so tracking changes is a nightmare. Fifth is around accuracy and predictability. This is where you hit things like AI hallucinations making stuff up, or models behaving unpredictably, often traced back to the quality of the training data. And inaccuracy, especially with generative AI, that's a massive risk companies are really trying to tackle now.
Makes sense.
And finally, number 6, organizational and process stuff. Lack of clear ownership, who's responsible for this data? Is there even a data-driven culture? Are you actually analyzing data quality consistently?
The human side of it.
Exactly. The people and process glue holding it or not holding it together.
And all these issues, these 6 categories, they feed this deep mistrust within organizations. The numbers here are pretty sobering too, like 38% of firms, they don't trust their own data. 43% doubt the results they get from AI. Almost half, 45%, struggle with using AI responsibly. And maybe the kicker, 81% just don't prioritize data in their strategy. It's an afterthought.
That's incredible, considering everything we've discussed.
Right. So it's no surprise that 96% of data specialists themselves are basically shouting from the rooftops about a data quality crisis. It's hiding in plain sight.
And zooming out a bit, you see how this data problem affects the really big business goals. Look at 2025 priorities. Cost reduction, top for 56% of leaders. Revenue growth, top for 44%.
The big two.
The big two. And both rely heavily on effective AI, which, as we keep saying, relies fundamentally on good data. You can't optimize costs with bad numbers. You can't drive growth with flawed insights. It's that direct.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's something interesting, almost a contradiction.
Yeah.
You have 67% of companies saying they are executing data strategies to guide IT investments.
Okay, that sounds positive.
Right. But then 52%, more than half, still say a top obstacle is not having enough investment in that core infrastructure.
So there's a gap between the plan and the resources.
Exactly. A big gap between saying data strategy is important and actually funding the foundations needed to make it work. Like planning the high-speed train but forgetting the tracks.
That's a really telling point. It also makes sense why things like data governance for AI and risk and compliance tend to be highly centralized. Organizations recognize these are foundational. They have to be managed carefully for AI to be adopted successfully across the board. Think IT ops, software dev, R&D, security, customer service. They all need that reliable, governed data core.
Right. It's not just an IT issue. It's enterprise-wide. And think about investment plans for 2025. Half of leaders expect to invest more overall, but nearly a quarter, 23%, expect to decrease spending.
So budgets are tight for some.
Which makes smart allocation crucial, right? You really can't afford to waste those AI dollars we talked about, that potential $408 billion evaporating. Every investment needs to be smart.
Absolutely. Which brings us to, well, what do you do about it? The solution. We think a really critical first move is something called a data potential analysis.
Okay, what's that involved?
Think of it as a quick, focused checkup. It specifically assesses how ready your data actually is for things like AI, automation, cloud migration. It's not just a vague audit. It gives you concrete, measurable insights tied to your actual business goals.
So what kind of things does it look at specifically? It generally covers about 7 key areas. Analyzing your data sources, where does everything live? A deep dive into data quality, looking at multiple levels, checking data access controls, understanding your risk exposure, assessing data warehouse readiness, optimizing reporting systems. It even looks at the viability of cloud migration from a data perspective. And crucially, is your data complete and good enough to actually train and deploy AI models effectively?
Right. It essentially maps out your current state and identifies the gaps. And the payoff for you, for the listener, is really clear answers. Answers to questions like, is my data really AI ready now? Where are we losing value because our data is poor? Which specific data areas need investment now? And critically, does our data setup meet compliance rules like GDPR or the Data Act? It gives you that roadmap.
Okay, but here's the really exciting part, the upside. Deloitte did some research. They found companies with high-quality data. They make 33% better business decisions.
33% better. That's huge.
It's massive. So investing in data quality isn't just about avoiding failure, though that's important. It's an actual ROI multiplier. It cuts that failure risk way down, and it maximizes the value you get from all your tech investments down the line. It's the enabler.
That's exactly the point. Good data isn't just nice to have. It's the fundamental path to getting real ROI from AI and analytics. It helps you avoid those costly mistakes and delays. It lets you make faster, much more accurate decisions. And it makes your whole organization more adaptable, quicker to respond to market shifts. It's the bedrock for agility, for competitiveness in this AI age.
So, wrapping this up then, the big message for 2026 and beyond seems pretty clear. Success with AI isn't going to be about who jumps in first or who spends the most necessarily. It's about who deploys consciously, who deploys smartly, based on solid foundations.
Which really brings it back to you, the listener. As you're planning your next moves, your strategies, the crucial question to ask yourself is our data truly ready for AI? Understanding that, knowing the answer honestly, that's the absolute essential first step before you commit serious time, money, and resources. That's where it all begins.
So what stands out to you most about just how critical data has become for any kind of technology success now? The implications, really, for any organization, whatever your industry, whatever your size, they're just profound. Taking the time now to understand your data's potential, that could genuinely be the difference between a game-changing success and, well, another expensive experiment.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it and that it helps you take the next step in your journey toward better data quality. Curious about how to improve your data quality? Contact us at britenet.eu.